Hi, I'm Victor Margiotta, and this is the Community Show. Thanks for watching. I am thrilled to have Alain and Bruce Apar on the show. They epitomize community with their magazine, the River Journal News. Absolutely love the magazine. It actually comes in the mail, and always looking forward to getting it and reading it, and actually save. I have a whole stack of them at home, and you know the beauty of it is they hit every part of the community. They do the graduating class. They do the volunteers in the community. Actually got a couple of guests from the magazine. So I'm really excited to talk to these guys. So Bruce, thanks for coming on.
No, thank you, Victor.
Alain, thank you so much.
We're excited to be here.
Yeah, this is great. You know, community, the cornerstone of the community is the family. And I always like to talk about family first. So just talk a little bit about your family, Bruce.
We lived on Long Island in a town called Garden City South, which is in Nassau County, sort of westernmost Nassau County, not far from Belmont Racetrack, in fact. And Garden City South was known as a hotbed of lacrosse. It still is, just like Yorktown, where I live now.
Yeah.
And I was sort of shy, I'd say, in school. You know, I liked to be in like the drama club. I liked to act, and that was the way I sort of came out of my shyness a little bit. And I loved to write. You know, I think I was in 9th grade when my teacher actually suggested you should think about writing as a career. Yeah.
Right.
And so I have, her to thank for making it my career, which I'm very happy about. And,
Awesome.
Fast forward a few decades, and, I had the good fortune to meet Alain and hook up with him on River Journal, and it's a great ride that we're having.
Yeah, I'm so happy you guys are putting this out. It's really good. And it's perfect for people to advertise in too. So local businesses.
Yeah.
Alain, you're on. Tell us a little about
Sure.
yourself.
So I grew up in New Jersey
Uh-huh.
and went to college at Rutgers University and eventually moved to Westchester and have been in the river towns for 25 years. Lived in Cortlandt Manor for much of that time, where my kids went to Hen Hud.
Nice.
Graduated there. My daughter's at NYU now. My son's
All right. Congratulations.
doing his own thing, and he's a videographer. So so we've been in the area forever, and love everything about living in this part of the county. And as Bruce said, he and I met. Probably been about 2.5 years.
I can tell you exactly. It was December of 2019.
Right, and it was at a Chamber of Commerce meeting.
Right. At the Paramount.
At the Paramount Theater, and it was actually the day I was announcing the launch of River Journal North. Deb Malone from the Chamber had given me the opportunity to announce it at a Chamber meeting.
Cool.
And the first person I met after announcing it was Bruce.
Right.
And from that day forward, we've been in this venture together.
Yeah.
So.
Well, social networking, right? It's very
Right.
it's
No, you're right.
huge,
In that case,
you know?
it was the Chambers, the Hudson Valley Gateway Chamber of Commerce's monthly breakfast networking events draw a very good crowd almost every time, just about every time, and people do meet and broker deals between each other and things like that. And so Alain and I are a testament to that.
Yeah,
That's
perfect.
We met. I think I started asking him, so who's going to run this new publication? And as luck would have it, he was looking for somebody, and then set up a meeting at the Peekskill Coffee House, where a lot of these deals apparently take place.
Yeah.
And we hit it off. We get along really well.
Yeah.
So it's
I play golf, and you were out there and you said, well, I should have kept my head down, or I shouldn't have tried to kill the
Yes.
ball. And then
Right.
these things go into life. I should have did this. Well, don't should have, do it.
right.
So
Right.
what was your
Right.
whole should have, but then said, all right, I'm going to do it?
Yes. So I actually spent 25 plus years in the corporate national media world, working for companies like Time Inc., where I was at People Magazine and other big magazines and,
Cool.
and newspaper companies. And I eventually just decided I wanted to do something local.
Yeah.
And as luck would have it, right when I was looking to find something local in the media world to do, a magazine called River Journal was about to go out of business. So I acquired it, and that was a publication, or is a publication, that covers Irvington, Tarrytown, Sleepy Hollow, Briarcliff, and Ossining. And so that really got the ball rolling for my media company.
Yeah.
And when that was up and running, I said, well, let's go farther north. Let's look at Cortland, Croton, Peekskill. And it just seemed like there really wasn't any media property there that was covering what is a growing area. I mean,
no doubt.
what's happening with, we were talking about Queens earlier, the number of people who are moving up here from Brooklyn and Queens and the city, there's just so much going on. So I said we really need a publication to cover this area.
What I was going to say, Victor, what's interesting, and it's a testament to Alan's business savvy and his stick-to-itiveness, his persistence, which certainly benefits me. River Journal North, as he was saying, which is Peekskill, Croton, Cortland, was launched somewhat fatefully in March of 2020. So, we came in with the pandemic.
I know. Right?
And, I have to say that, without mentioning names, there's another publication in one of our markets that suspended their print edition, and they decided not to come back. But I'm really grateful that Alan, considering it was March 2020, and there was all kinds of stuff going on with businesses and not good things going on either, and he decided he was not going to stop putting out the print edition, and what he did, which was, very resourceful and clever, we combined the River Journal and River Journal North and covered all of those towns in one edition for the rest of the year, right? And so, because I'm sure you were too, I was really nervous. I go, are we going to be able to keep publishing with this pandemic, breathing down our neck? And I really, like I said, owe it to him that he did, and we came out of it, I think, stronger than ever.
Yeah.
Well, and I think having River Journal, which had been around for over 20 years when I acquired it, there as a relatively successful property, really gave us the opportunity to grow River Journal North. And that combining of the two publications also allowed us to say to businesses, hey, just run that ad you were going to run in one or the other. We're not going to charge you more, and you'll be in both, so you'll reach 50,000 households. And it was a benefit to businesses that were struggling at the time, and a lot of them have stuck with us and are now regular advertisers.
Yeah, it's key. I mean, you can't run a business without money. I mean, there's
yes.
It helps.
You could run it into the ground without money. But you were mentioning, Victor, I think before we went on the air, actually, about how, we like to cover students and schools and things. But in general, the editorial profile of both publications is, you could call it a lot of different things. One of the phrases I like to use is community journalism, lifestyle journalism. But the point is, these days more than ever, because of digital media and just the proliferation of media, there's enough places for people to go if they want bad news.
Yes,
There's a lot of bad news out there. And we feel that one of the secrets of our success, to coin a phrase, is that, we like to focus on human interest stories and, people who are doing good things in the community, volunteerism and fundraising and, everybody helping each other out.
Positivity all the way.
Positivity.
I know, it's huge.
Yeah.
It's so important. And that's what I tell everybody about the show. They want to come on and, complain about this. I says, that's not my venue. We're here it's the good news. We're trying to do the good news. And especially with the kids and graduating. I just was out in Colorado. My nephew, Christopher, my brother Charlie's son, graduated 8th from the out of 1,200 kids.
8th?
Wow.
Congratulations. That's great.
From the Air Force Academy.
Oh, wow.
So we had to go to a different awards ceremony every night for this kid. So there was 12 kids, and the credentials these kids had.
Yeah, right.
You
you're right.
It was I have a little hope for the future. Yeah. So
no, and it should be celebrated, just like you're saying, right?
Yeah. So,
in fact, it says right there. What does it say? Students today, leaders tomorrow. So those are the people who are going to be leading the world, right?
And they need to be put out in front.
Yes.
That's another thing I was saying. These kids that graduated, they should be the ones running the country because greed
Yeah, well,
hasn't gotten to them just yet. You
Right,
know?
right.
Yeah.
And, honesty is the foremost and utmost important.
Yep.
You know?
No,
So-
absolutely. Yeah.
When we cover students or kids from all the different schools, it's amazing the reaction we get, and the parents friends and teachers
Yeah.
and that contact us
Right.
and want extra copies
Yeah,
or say,
yeah.
"Oh, I saw that article, and
I
it's great that you're highlighting these kids who
Yeah.
are doing really good things."
Yeah.
And people really do appreciate that. I
Yeah.
think.
No, and that, like Alan's saying, I find that to be one of the most gratifying parts of the job is
Yeah.
the appreciation, that people show, and they let us know in an email or whatever. And it doesn't take much. It really
No,
doesn't.
no.
For them to say just, thank you for writing about my son or daughter,
Yeah.
things like that, or
No,
about our organization, and that's what we're there for. So
Well,
we're grateful that they're grateful.
yeah. Well, you guys did the Galata House.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about that.
Yes, so we actually have a really good relationship with Matt Galata and his organization, and they do so many good things for the community. And they, they're one of those organizations that we have a very regular dialogue with, and they're good at making sure we're aware of the things that they're doing or ways that we can help them get the message out.
Yeah.
And the same is true for a lot of organizations in the river towns, and we work closely with many of them. And we're here, as Bruce was saying, we want to get that word out to people. If a not-for-profit organization
Right.
is doing something great,
Yeah.
but needs a little push, a little more exposure.
Yeah, well,
that's what we're
perfect
here to do.
example. The brand new Runners Club in Buchanan teamed up with the Parks Department, and now are
Right.
cleaning up. I mean, what a great story that was, too.
yeah.
And actually, in August, for the month of August, we were contacted by is David Muller, his name is, the Peekskill Dog Park president, right.
right.
He contacted us because they, to their credit, are one of, I think, 10 finalists in the country.
Oh, my
where
God.
if they can get enough votes to be one of the 4 finalists, they can get, there's going to be 4 $25,000 awards, and they want to use it to fix up Peekskill
Sure.
Dog Park. So he contacted us to ask us to help
Yeah, promote it.
get the word out for people to vote, things like that. Yeah,
That's cool.
yeah.
Now,
But we should mention too, Alan is very involved in the was it the Tarrytown Chamber? It's called
Sleepy Hollow
Sleepy Hollow
Tarrytown Chamber of Commerce, yeah.
I'm very involved in the Hudson Valley Gateway Chamber of Commerce, and the chambers are obviously a great source
yeah.
of information, and we support them, they support us, and that's really important. I would encourage any business who doesn't belong to a chamber to seriously consider it, because if you take advantage of it, it could help your business.
definitely. So there's been a lot of movies about, magazines and newspapers. And what were some of your favorite movies? I know The Paper was a great movie.
You mean movies about right.
magazines or newspapers.
Well, I mean, just the other day I was watching All the President's Men, which is
that
is a great movie.
I know,
I mean,
crazy.
obviously, it's a great story. It's a real story.
Yeah.
Right.
In fact, it was. I mean, I know when people are watching this, it's going to be sort of out of sync with what I'm saying. But yesterday, I believe, could I mention the date yesterday? Is that okay? Right?
Yeah.
Was that August 8th yesterday?
Yeah.
It was the anniversary of President Nixon resigning.
yeah, I
right?
saw
Oh, my
that.
gosh.
So they were showing All the President's Men, I guess, as a tribute to him, in a manner of speaking.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's one of my favorite movies because I love the process of the reporters and what they had to go through to get that story.
Yeah. And then we'll talk about deadlines and you don't have that kind of pressure, do you?
Well, we're a monthly, so we're not a breaking news publication.
Right.
We're not trying to get something out,
Yeah.
next day. Although our website, which is pretty robust in terms of the amount of traffic we get and the amount of content we put on it, is more of a daily publication. But every month it seems like we feel the deadlines and pressure
As you get
approaching.
closer to it, it
Yeah.
builds.
Yeah,
Yes.
right.
Right.
And even on the advertising side, we have the editorial deadlines,
right.
but we're always working with our clients to make sure they get their ads done on time, or we do their ads for them, so we get their ads done on time.
Yeah,
So
right.
it really does come to that Friday night
Yeah, yeah.
before we go to
Yes, right,
press.
it's-
We're
yeah.
usually working till 7,
Right,
8,
right.
9, 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
And
We start looking forward to the first glass of wine we can have when the publication is done.
Right.
But Alan is very enterprising, and we also put out twice a week an email newsletter
Okay.
that comes out Tuesday and Friday. So we have, in that respect, we have deadlines Monday night for the Tuesday one and Thursday night for the Friday one. So there's other deadlines as well that we
Yeah,
deal
so
with.
we are going to post the website so that'll be up. So people, I love that you're very interested in the arts too.
Yeah.
You did an article about the woman that paints people with their pets. That was
Yes, yeah,
that
right,
was
yes,
awesome.
right.
That was excellent.
Yeah.
And the opening of some of the galleries. And,
Right.
But now the music venue is also up and coming too. You do something with Liz Goodyear.
yeah, so Liz is my partner in a venture called Rivertown's Music Group. And what we've done is we've created a group to try to bring local original music to the river towns. And we've had a couple of concerts. We had a Battle of the Bands at the River Outpost in Peekskill on Father's Day, and we probably had about 2,500 people show up over the course of the day.
Wow.
And it was a great event, and the winner of that Battle of the Bands, Dan Zlotnick Band, ended up being the warm-up band for a concert we did at the Paramount Theater
Awesome.
this past Saturday night with 4 bands that all had Hudson Valley roots. So our goal is really to bring, to shine a light on those performers who are trying to do original music. They're not tribute bands or cover bands. And we're getting close to announcing a summer 2023 festival.
Okay.
That will be a music festival in one of the river towns. We can't say which one just
Right,
yet.
yeah.
But we hope to have an annual festival that'll bring in lots of local and regional bands and family friendly, all kinds of. It'll be just a great day.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah, because isn't it true, Alan, that the Clearwater Festival, which was a great festival, they're not coming back, I believe, right?
Yeah, the Clearwater, which was in Croton, they've become a virtual only festival. So it's been since COVID.
Yeah.
And that was a different. That was a great festival.
It really
was
was.
really focused
Yeah,
on
yeah.
some more folk music,
Right.
and
Yeah.
we want to do more sort of independent indie music that's more current. And
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Pete Seeger started that, right?
yeah,
It was-
Pete
Yeah.
started.
I think it was called the Clearwater Revival originally,
Yeah.
something like that. And then, when I mentioned Alan was very enterprising, it never ceases to amaze me how he's always coming up with something new to do. Actually, the key word in business these days, it's Silicon Valley influenced, is scale, right? Scale up. You can't just, stay still. What is
No.
it? The metaphor is always sharks. That if sharks don't keep moving forward, they die. So we're excited actually about. It sounds similar to ours, but we didn't create this. Somebody else created it on the other side of the river in Rockland County. Is it okay? For us?
Sure.
And so we're Alan and I are going to be very soon, very quickly, taking this publication over, Rivertown Magazine. So we'll have Rivertown Magazine on the west side of the Hudson in Rockland County, and the River Journals on the east side of the Hudson in Westchester County. And we think that there's inevitable and logical synergy between the two. It's sort of like, again, the metaphor we use is, we're going to bridge the Hudson with, these two media properties and then other related media properties.
Yeah.
I mean, we mentioned Currents is the name of the newsletter, but we also have a podcast called River Talk. So, constantly trying to find ways to build out, all the different ways that we can, get people's messages out, and whether it's advertising messages or, editorial, things like that, through different media. So.
Yeah, and even for our music enterprise, the the resource that we have to be able to get the word out about our music events is our own publications,
right.
our website, our newsletter. And so we have this built-in marketing arm, and we saw how effective it was to bring 2,500 people out on a Father's Day Sunday to hear four bands, just that they really didn't know, just
Yeah.
battle it out. I think showed how the publication really
Yeah.
does
Get the
serve
word
as
out.
a good vehicle.
Oh, without a doubt.
And
Now-
in fact, the event that Alan and Liz Goodyear created was so marketable and had instant credibility that they were able to bring on board Ginsberg Development Companies. They were like the presenting sponsor, I think it was. And, there were other sponsors as well, but that in itself was a coup.
Yeah. So all these ventures, where are you going to get the help?
Well, what's really interesting and I think gratifying is that we get calls every week from people in the community who want to write for us, who just want to sort of, they love the area, they love what's going on, and they want to be one of our writers and cover it, or a photographer. And same, even on the ad sales side, we get local people who think, hey, I know most of the businesses around
Yeah,
here.
right.
I could help sell advertising. So
Yeah.
it isn't easy to find
No.
great people, but the ones we have had working with us,
That's great.
they've been great. They
Yep.
still are great. They stick
Yeah,
around,
yeah.
and they love doing it.
Oh, it definitely makes a difference if
Yeah.
you get along with the people you work with.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we have, just as an example, because we are in River Journal North Country, like Christian Larson, who's our editor at large, that we met not that long ago, a year ago, I don't know what it was, but he has a background. He was at New York One in the city, and he's the producer and host of the River Talk podcast, and he's a very good writer, and he is very involved in Peekskill, putting on like events. He produces events like movie nights, right, and things like that.
Yeah. Trivia nights,
Things
music
like
nights.
that. So that the reason I bring him up is because he epitomizes the kind of person we want to work with. He's very industrious. He's very embedded in the community, and he's passionate. That's
Yeah.
what we like.
Yeah. I when I first started thinking about doing the show, it would, I wanted to talk about cooking and eating right and exercise, but the other thing was to do a different word every show.
Right.
To help people to, the importance of a great vocabulary is that you're able to express yourself. When you're feeling, you could put a word on a thought or a feeling and an idea. And it's so important that a good vocabulary actually enhances, your thought patterns and how you. Now you love words.
Yeah.
Talk about your experience
My experience with words.
with words.
Right. Well, no, I appreciate saying that, Victor, because it's true. I do love words, and sometimes, as Alan will tell you, I get a little carried away, whether it's with puns or just being a little, obsessive about, a wrong word or the way the word was misspelled, whatever.
Yeah, right.
But I'll tell you the one word that I like, especially lately, because it says a lot. It's a very short, simple word, but it says a lot about the way things are right now in the world and this country and how they need to get better. And that word is nuance. And the reason I like nuance is because I think one of the problems with information that we consume is this, social media, is the best or worst example, the way you want to look at it, is that there's too much noise. There's a lot of noise out there, and people take binary positions. It either has to be this way or that way, and no. Nuance is, it's gray. It's not, and people should challenge their own beliefs. To me, that's nuance. Don't just say, I belong to this party, and anybody in the other party is wrong. That doesn't help.
No.
So I like the word nuance for that reason. It's sort of shading your opinion and your information.
Yeah, for sure. So we just have 3 minutes left. Any last thoughts, Alan?
Well, since we started this venture, the River Journal North venture, really, I really wasn't as familiar with Peekskill and Croton. I lived in Cortland Manor for
Yeah.
a long time, but I feel like in the year and a half or almost 2 years we've been doing it, that I've learned so much about what's happening in all the communities we serve.
Yeah.
And I think Peekskill is just a great example.
beautiful.
I had no idea
No, I know.
that there was so much going on in the arts, in the restaurant scene, and the business scene. And one of the things we talk about a lot is that people tend to be really focused on the one community or two, maybe the surrounding community they live in, and people, as close as Tarrytown have no idea what amazing things are in Croton or Peekskill, and that's one of the things we try to get out there.
Yeah, what I love about Peekskill too, it's very family oriented.
Yep.
It's generations of people growing up, and
Yes.
it's like I said in the beginning of the show, the family is the cornerstone of society. If
Right.
your family is strong and you're able to be wanting to help and to volunteer and to be
Right.
part of, I think one of the statements the woman made in that runners club, get out and meet your neighbors,
Yes, right,
go
that's right.
jogging, I thought that was such a great little thing that she said,
Well, you really read this thoroughly, Victor.
I'm
I'll
telling
tell
you, it's
That's great.
it is
Thank
great.
you.
Tell your friend.
Yeah, I do. I talk about the magazine all the time, and like I said, I've gotten a few of my guests from the show,
No,
and I
that's
want to
great.
say hi to Barbara King and hope that she's doing well
Yeah.
with her venture.
Right.
And it was so great that you guys did that. This is what we need to hear about, not the bad news.
And like you're saying, the family image extends to the communities of family, right, as well.
Exactly. All right, guys. Thanks so much for coming
Thanks for
on.
having us.
Yeah,
Victor.
What a
Thank you very
great,
much.
great
Appreciate it.
interview, and I really appreciate it. Thanks.
Thank you.
I'm Victor Margiotta. This is the Community Show. Thank you so much for watching. And my motto is don't complain about what's going on out there, get involved. And read the River Journal News and find out ways that you can get involved. Such a great magazine. Thanks for watching.